Hello and welcome to editing a course in Moodle 2.0. If you're watching this video, you're brand new to Moodle. You weren't a Moodle 1.9 user. If so, head over to my 1.9 tutorial video that transitions you to Moodle 2.0. For this video, I'm going to be following along with documentation at moodle.org. The URL for this documentation is up on screen now. It's a great idea to use the written documentation at moodle.org to always find the most up-to-date information. It's also a great refresher and is a constant resource for you as you edit in Moodle. So I'm going to follow along with their documentation as a guide. You'll see the documentation on the right-hand side of my screen, the demonstration on the left. Adding and editing a course in Moodle is how you get started in working in your new course. You must have a blank course created by a course creator in order to get started. If you don't have a blank course yet, contact your site administrator who can assign you one. A blank course looks something like you see on the left. There are 2 sections in my course now. There may be more in yours, and yours may be labeled by the date. I'll show you how to change that. In the center is your content, and down the right and left sides are side blocks. Once you have a new blank course, you can start working on it and adding things to it by clicking the button in the top corner called Turn Editing On. A link to Turn Editing On can also be found in your Settings block under Course Administration. They both do the same thing. Click on Turn Editing On, and your course transforms into a page full of icons and menus that allow you to add things to the page. Each item on your course homepage will have icons next to it that will help you modify it. Let's zoom in and take a look. The first icon in the row is your Ajax editor. This is a fancy term for moving things up and down. If you don't see this crosshairs, you may not have your advanced editing tools turned on. At the end of this video, I'll show you how to do that. If your advanced editing tools aren't on, you'll see a half up and half down black arrow here instead, and it just makes moving up and down a little bit clunkier. The next icon allows you to nudge or scoot your activities in toward the left and the right. So I click on it once and then I can click on it again. This tool will help you build a hierarchy in your course and make it look more like an outline for your students. The update icon allows you to edit any settings that you previously configured on that activity. Duplicate will make an exact replica, so you can save yourself some time if you run an activity repeatedly. The black X is delete, you guessed it. And the eye icon, or EYE icon, is to hide an activity. Closing the eye on an activity means that it's only visible to the instructor. This allows you to have works in progress, or to reveal activities only when they're relevant to the topic or the unit at hand. The next icon over in the course indicates the group settings. If you've broken up your Moodle course into groups, and we'll get to that later, then this will indicate if the particular activity is assigned to a group. The final icon allows you to assign specific roles to users in just that activity. For example, if you'd like a student to moderate a discussion, you can promote them to be the teacher of just one forum. Just an example. At the bottom of every section in Moodle, you'll see these 2 key menus, the Add a Resource menu and the Add an Activity menu. Those are really where the magic begins. Let's zoom out again. In the Moodle documentation, you can see a summary of each icon written out for you. The next icons that the documentation highlights are in each section of the course. On the far right-hand side of each module, you'll see a white block. This means I want to collapse the course to see only that topic at a time. This is a personal view only. If you collapse your course, it's only collapsed for you. Your students will still see everything. If you'd like to hide a section from them so that it's universal, every student wouldn't see it, then you'd close the eye for that entire section. It works the same as closing the eye next to an activity. The last icon on the side of each section is to highlight this topic as sort of the current topic. Clicking the light bulb icon will shade your section, or it may have other effects depending on the theme you're using, but in some graphical way, attention will be drawn to the section that you've highlighted. Let's get back to those menus. Moodle provides some standard activities and resources that you can add to your course page one at a time. In each section, there is an Add a Resource and Add an Activity menu. The process for adding something to each section is to drop down the menu, choose something you'd like to add, and you'll be transitioned to a page to fill out some settings. For example, if I add a label with just some text, and I save and return to course, I'm dropped back off on my course page, and there's my activity or resource right where I left it. The same is true in the Add an Activity menu. If I drop down the menu and choose an activity, it will take me to a settings page, and after I save, I'll be sent back here. That's the process or the habit you'll need to get into for editing your course page. The next thing you might be wondering is, what's the difference between a resource and an activity? A resource is a tool that your students will look at. So think of it as things that are static. They'll read them, download them, absorb them, maybe sift through the material, instead of interacting with them, which they'll do in the Add an Activity menu. The Activity menu contains cool things like choices, where students can be polled, forums where they can discuss, glossaries where they can define vocabulary, and wikis where they can collaboratively build pages together. Outside of the sections of your course where all the meat will go, you'll see an Adding a Block menu. This is off to the right-hand side of the course and contains things like a calendar that you could post for your course, a list of logged-in users, quiz results from a recent quiz, and even upcoming events that streamline your calendar. When you add a block, such as a calendar, similar editing tools appear across the top of that block, which will allow you to customize it, delete it, hide it, or assign specific roles to that block. Managing your course is done in the Settings block. The Settings block might be on the side of your course, or it might be parked up in your dock here on the left. Editing the settings of your course will change settings that are course-wide, like the colors and theme of your course, or the start and end date, or whether or not students will have a grade book. All of these items are done in course-wide settings. Remember when I promised to tell you how you can change your course from showing dates to showing numbered topics? The course-wide settings is where you do that. Under the Format menu, choose Topics Format instead of Weekly Format. You'll find detailed descriptions of these on the Moodle documentation page. In summary, there are 3 key zones that you'll use for editing: the Add a Resource and Add an Activity menus, the icons next to each individual activity that you create, and the Add a Block menu, as well as the editing icons under each block. This will help you take care of the right and left side of your course page. That's it. You're ready to get started with editing. Wait, one last thing. If you were one of those people in the beginning of the tutorial who didn't have your drag and drop editor, the Ajax editor, stick with me now while I show you how to get it. Find your name in the top right-hand corner or the bottom center of your Moodle page and click on it. This will take you to your profile page. In your profile, go up to the Settings block and choose Edit Profile. Scroll down and look for the setting for Ajax and JavaScript. Change this from No, use basic web features to Yes, and you'll have all the editing tools you'll need.